Hi, and welcome to a video about importing data to Salesforce using the Dataloader IO application and getting the right data in the right place without having to do multiple imports. My name is Matt Foster. I've been a Salesforce consultant partner for over 10 years and working in the Salesforce ecosystem for nearly 15. And I want to share this helpful tip on how to import data into Salesforce when at the end of the day, your back office, the only thing they give you is a spreadsheet. And a lot of times when you get a spreadsheet like this, as the example that I have up, it's not just one object in Salesforce, but it's numerous objects. So in this one, we're looking at client information, which would be account information. We're now looking at financial information. So for instance, this is like IRA or 401k, wealth and investment advisement information as far as financial account goes. And then as well as we have commissions and or commission splits, even based on rep. So the hard part is when you have to import this into Salesforce, it's typically 3 different imports, then you have to do VLOOKUPs, and there's just a lot of manipulation you want to do. So let's say all your back office does is give you this report maybe once a week, or even once a day. You want an easy way that takes less than 5 minutes to be able to import this to Salesforce and get all your data where it needs to be. So for instance, you want to import Tom Cruise. If he already has an account, we want to make sure it links to the same account. As you see, that's that same client number, Betty Crocker. We don't want to create 6 or 4 different Tom Cruises and 2 Betty Crockers. We don't want to recreate a whole bunch of new financial accounts. We either want them updated or added as new. So let me show you how to do that. So the first thing you'll have is your data file. You're going to hit File, Save As, and save it as a CSV. Next, you're going to go to this application called Dataloader IO. It's a very easy to use application. The pricing, it does, you do have to pay for this if you go over a certain amount of records. I believe it's over 1,000 records a month. So if you don't have more than that, you can use it for free. Hit log in with Salesforce. You'll log in with your Salesforce credentials. It'll ask for authorization. Once you get here, you just simply hit New Task, Import. You're going to link it to a data object that you created. What we recommend is creating a data staging object. So I'm going to type in staging. We've already pre-created this object, and then all the fields on the object itself matches the field names in the file that we get from our back office. Move my face there and then click Next. We're then going to grab that CSV file that we just saved. We'll hit Save. And when I hit Next, you'll see that it automatically matches every single field that we have on that staging object. I don't need to know any of the mappings, remember any of the mappings. Because it's a map one-to-one to that staging object, I'm done. I simply hit Next, hit Save and Run. You'll see how many records it's going to create on that staging object. Hit Save and Run. And then it will give you a process of importing that data. You can see that I got 6 successes and no errors. So if you had any formatted things out of whack, you would see some errors there. But if you've got this all set up, that's all you have to do. You'd be done. However, because we're importing to a staging object, we need to then take that data and then separate that out. And if you're not used to or aren't working with a Salesforce consultant partner, I would definitely advise you to do that. Because when you do this process, all it's going to do in your Salesforce, it's going to create this data staging object records, right? So there's all that data that we just imported, but it still needs to go to the proper place, right? We want it to go to Tom Cruise's record, Betty Crocker's record, all of that. So this process makes the import very simple, but you need to follow it up with what's called creating a record trigger flow in Salesforce. In this example, I'm not going to walk through all those details. I do advise you working with a consultant partner and or a Salesforce developer that understands what record trigger flows do. Because what it's going to do is that record trigger flow is going to take that data when it gets created, and then it's going to transform it and do whatever steps necessary to put those in the right objects. And then also you want to follow up either by marking that data staging object as imported or done, or some people even just delete that record out. Because your end product, you want to be able to see Mr. Matthew Foster with all his investment accounts and all the up-to-date information that you have in Salesforce. But again, this process is to take a flat Excel file that you get from your back office, because you're probably struggling with not having an integration, and be able to do that step process through the Dataloader IO, hit import, and then you're done at that point. Again, this process, once you get the file, after you have all the back-end work of it mapped and using that record trigger flow, the end user, all they have to do is save this file as a CSV. Again, go to dataloader.io, import that data, and you're done. All the back-end automation is going to work and run, and that's going to be the cleanest way to import a file that has multiple objects on it, multiple different records, and then all the different transformation steps or manipulation steps of that data. So feel free to reach out to Fostering if you need help with that. We do projects like this every day, and would love to be able to service you and make the most out of your Salesforce. Thanks.